January begins with Wolfsburg in 4th place, 4 points behind Bayern Munich, who lead the table. The transfer window has been active for a few days already, and Peralta's first priority is securing Manu Kone from Gladbach. The two clubs quickly reach an agreement, a swap deal involving Kone for francs plus 10 million. However, complications arise with the player and his agent, who demand an exorbitant fee in terms of salary and commissions, leaving no room for negotiation. Regretfully, Peralta withdraws from the deal. With the funds saved from not signing Kone, Schaefer can secure at least 2 players. The first arrival is 19-year-old Brazilian Denis Neves, who has already shown great promise at Karabakh and seems to have a bright future ahead. Purchased for 2.5 million, he will initially join the youth team for a few months. A few days later, Manchester United returned to Wolfsburg following the Mele transfer, this time asking about Costinha. The Red Devils offer 30 million, but Peralta knows he can get more. Eventually, the deal is closed for around 40 million, a significant profit compared to the 10 million spent on him last season. After the meeting, Ten Hag expresses his regret over Garnacho's lack of playing time at Bayern Munich, a player he sold the previous season. He advises Peralta to consider bringing the Argentine to Wolfsburg, where he could thrive. Peralta says he'll think about it. Garnacho's statistics at Bayern are indeed dismal. Only 7 appearances, known as a starter, and no goals or assists in a year. Garnacho would be an excellent replacement for Costinha, who has since departed for Manchester in a 37 million plus bonuses deal. A few days later, Peralta meets Vincent Kompany in Nuremberg to discuss the matter. Bayern spent 70 million on Garnacho a year ago and are unwilling to sell him cheaply. Nevertheless, Peralta manages to meet the player, expressing his frustration at seeing such talent wasted on the bench and emphasizing how quickly a footballer's career can pass by. He proposes bringing Garnacho to Wolfsburg to help win the title within 3 years and make him a star of the team. Garnacho is moved by Peralta's admiration, and after discussing financial terms, he agrees the proposal. The Argentine passes his medical and immediately meets his new teammates, who welcome him warmly. The acquisition of Garnacho makes headlines worldwide, pointing out Wolfsburg's ambition. It's a deal reminiscent of the De Bruyne era, both for the caliber of the player and the significant fee of 56 million. And what better stage for Garnacho to prove his worth than immediately against Bayern? All eyes will be on him. Wolfsburg will host the Bavarians in a clash between two teams competing for the top spots. The match starts well for the visitors, who take the lead after just 15 minutes through Olise, now a key player for the team. The bad news doesn't end there, as 2 minutes later, Filip Ugrinic goes down after a challenge and, covering his face with his hands, asks for a substitution. A lengthy absence is feared for the Swiss midfielder. However, this injury galvanizes Wolfsburg. Just before half-time, Garnacho heads the ball down in the box for Mecha, who fires into the net, bringing the game level and sending the bench into raptures. Riding the wave of momentum, Wolfsburg soon forced the opposition keeper into action with a long-range shot from Branks. Bayern respond, but Musiala's attempt is denied by Grabara. Late in the game, Tiago Tomás receives the ball in midfield, accelerates past Bayern tired defense, cuts inside onto his right foot and scores. Wolfsburg take a 2-1 lead. The match ends with a vital victory for Peralta's Wolves, who celebrate passionately in the dressing room, praising their performance both on and off the pitch. In the following days, Peralta makes another attempt to sign Manu Kone, but this time Gladbach increases their asking price significantly, as another club is also interested. Peralta refuses to engage in a bidding war and pulls out of the deal once more. Meanwhile, Maier returns from injury, but Ugrinic is ruled out for 2 months. Betis make a 30 million plus offer for Grabara, but the Polish keeper, a leader in the team, is not for sale. Peralta, however, identifies a player with similar attributes to Kone, though more of a prospect for the future. Belgian midfielder Mandela Keita, known for his defensive awareness, physicality and offensive utility, joins Wolfsburg in a swap deal for francs, accepting a quite modest salary. Meanwhile, Christian Pulisic has been completely rejuvenated, and Atletico Madrid pay nearly 60 million for his transfer. Wolfsburg, however, have other matters to focus on, with a match against Werder Bremen approaching. To challenge Bayern at the top, they need to keep winning. All eyes are on Tiago Tomás, the league's top scorer, who is expected to deliver once again. After just 10 minutes, the hosts come close with Borja, but Grabara denies the goal. Shortly after, Tomás finds himself one-on-one with the keeper but misses a golden opportunity. In stoppage time, however, the host's defensive mistake gives Tomás the opener. Wolfsburg holds on to their 1-0 lead in the second half, and at full time, the referee's whistle signals another crucial victory for Peralta and Bale's Wolves. Now just 1 point separates them from the top spot, though maintaining the space will not be easy. Amid the celebrations, Paredes, who had hoped for more playing time this season, wears a bittersweet smile. The manager reassures him, stating he's an important part of the team. Indeed, in the away match against Freiburg, Paredes is given his chance to start. Facing a tough opponent in a packed stadium, Peralta knows this won't be an easy match. In just 2 minutes, Filip scores for Freiburg, leaving Wolfsburg stunned. The Wolves fight back but face a tightly packed defense. Garnacho takes matters into his own hands, unleashing a 25-yard shot that surprises the keeper and marks his first spectacular Bundesliga goal. Unfortunately, it's not enough to secure a win, as the match ends in a frustrating draw for Wolfsburg. Amid the midfield crisis, Schaefer moves quickly to sign Romanian midfielder Marius Corbu. The former Apoel player will need time to adapt to the system and the Bundesliga, but is expected to make a valuable contribution. But now it's time to return to Champions League action. Although Wolfsburg's chances of progressing are virtually non-existent, they are determined to bow out with honor. Minutes into the match, Tomás had a good chance, but his shot flies over the crossbar. Late in the first half, Solomon sets up Solanke, whose shot from the edge of the box hits the crossbar. Shortly after, Mudryk lofts a beautiful ball to Tomás, but the Portuguese striker misses another opportunity. In the second half, Mecha latches onto a pass in the box and beats the keeper to give Wolfsburg the lead. Tottenham respond as Solomon dribbles past several players before crossing to Nico Williams, who equalizes. Patrick Wimmer, preparing to face his former team, celebrates on the bench. Disaster strikes minutes later when Tomás jumps for a cross, lands awkwardly on his knee and remains on the ground. His teammates rush to his side, but it's clear he has suffered a serious injury and needs to be substituted. Perhaps emboldened by Wolfsburg's misfortune, Wimmer puts on a dazzling display of dribbling skills, taunting his former teammates. The match ends in a draw, another respectable performance for Wolfsburg against a strong opponent, but still no Champions League victory this season. In the post-match press conference, Peralta's main concern is for Tomás, who is later diagnosed with an elbow fracture that will sideline him for at least 2 months. This is a significant loss during a crucial period for both Wolfsburg and the player, who is eager to return to the pitch. The next league match is at home against Union Berlin. After the draw, the gap to the top has widened to 3 points. The Wolves must play without their best player against a team hungry for points. Within minutes, Union take the lead through Hullerbach, who celebrates like Ronaldo. Wolfsburg respond, with Pohjanpalo setting up Mecha, who beats the keeper one-on-one to equalize. Shortly after, the Doge is brought down by Linus, who is sent off, leaving Union with 10 men. Wolfsburg seized the moment, and the ball eventually finds Garnacho, who unleashes a thunderbolt from outside the box into the top corner. Late in the game, Pohjanpalo scores with his left foot to extend the lead. In the final minutes, on a counter-attack, Huescas switches play to Garnacho, who takes the ball into the box and beats the keeper, scoring his first Bundesliga brace. These are 3 crucial points for Wolfsburg, who are delighted to have found a new focal point in Alejandro Garnacho during Tomás and Ugrinic's absence. Meanwhile, the youth team shows great potential, but none are ready for the first team yet. Peralta begins preparing for the final Champions League match against Celtic. In a press conference, he states that while the result will mean nothing, a European victory would be a nice way to bow out. Spirits are high, with Garnacho quickly becoming an essential player, and all eyes will be on him once again. The match is tightly contested. Around the 30-minute mark, Bernardo tries his luck from outside the box, but Grabara saves. Under the watchful eye of Brendan Rodgers, the game offers little else and ends in a goalless draw. Wolfsburg's European campaign ends with several commendable performances but no victories. Peralta is disappointed but promises things will be better next season. That's a promise. Meanwhile, Joe Bellingham arrives in Germany, joining Stuttgart for 15 million. In the league, the gap to the top remains 3 points, and Bayern show no signs of faltering. Wolfsburg face Bochum away next. After the Champions League elimination, captain Maxi Arnold vows the team will give everything in the league to finish as high as possible. Yet after 20 minutes, Broja scores to give Bochum the lead. Minutes later, Jens brings down an opponent and is sent off for denying a clear scoring opportunity. Down to 10 men, Wolfsburg rely. On a counter-attack, the ball moves from the left to the right flank, where Huescas collects it in the box and scores a brilliant equalizer. In the second half, Garnacho is fouled in the box, and the referee points to the spot. Mecha sets up but shockingly misses. From the resulting corner, Roth scores the ball into the net, putting Wolfsburg ahead. Shortly after, Velis comes close to making it 3-1 but hits the crossbar. Out of nowhere, with less than 10 minutes remaining, Broja beats the keeper to equalize, setting up a tense finale. Wolfsburg refused to settle, and Velis holds off a defender before setting up Paredes, who drives in the box and scores a decisive 3-2 winner. The team celebrates wildly, having battled through adversity to secure a hard-fought win. In the post-match press conference, Peralta praises his players' dedication, even in the absence of Ugrinic and Tomás. Their effort is commendable, and some, like Grabara, are even earning individual accolades. Next up are the DFB Pokal quarter-finals against Stuttgart, a tough but winnable fixture. Cameras focus on former Wolfsburg player Rogerio before kickoff. Just 5 minutes in, Undav scores to give Stuttgart the lead. Wolfsburg tried to respond, but Stuttgart's energy prevails, and in the second half, Fürich adds a second goal, celebrating with his teammates and fans. The match ends 2-0, eliminating Wolfsburg from the Pokal. The players had hoped to win the competition but fell short. In the press conference, Peralta expresses his disappointment at exiting both the Pokal and the Champions League. He vows to give everything in the remaining 4 league games: Leipzig at home, Borussia Dortmund away, Gladbach at home, and most importantly, Bayern Munich away. There's a lot to reflect on. Yet, away from the cameras, the Swiss manager begins to doubt himself. Perhaps another manager could have done better, he wonders. One question haunts him above all: am I truly enough for this team?